had thought that after 10 years of marriage, my words would carry weight, that we could navigate disagreements without causing irreparable damage. But I was wrong. That morning started like any other. Coffee brewing, sunlight spilling through the kitchen window, the familiar sound of my husband, Mark, reading the news at the table. I was tired, frustrated from a sleepless night, and everything felt sharper than it should. We exchanged the usual small talk, but tension hung in the air like an invisible storm cloud. Something had been brewing for weeks, subtle disagreements, half-spoken frustrations, little annoyances that neither of us had addressed. I could sense it, the way Mark's jaw tightened, the way his hands gripped the newspaper a little too tightly. And then it happened. A trivial comment on my part, meant as a joke, or at least I thought so, tumbled out before I could stop it. "Maybe you'd be happier if you just stayed quiet for once," I said, the words sharper than intended. It was meant to tease, to highlight his stubbornness, but in that moment I realized my mistake, too late. Mark froze. The newspaper fell from his hands. For a moment, silence filled the room, and I could see the hurt flicker in his eyes, quickly replaced by something heavier, disbelief, sorrow, and an almost imperceptible anger that made my stomach twist. I tried to backtrack. "I didn't mean it like that," I whispered, reaching out to him. "It was just a joke." But the words didn't land. They never did. Mark stood abruptly, the chair scraping against the tile floor. He didn't speak, didn't argue, didn't yell. Instead, he walked to the door, grabbing his coat with a quiet finality that chilled me to the bone. "I can't do this anymore," he said, voice calm but edged with pain. "I can't stay in a marriage where a single sentence can carry so much disregard. I'm leaving." I felt my heart lurch. "Wait, Mark, please. Don't do this." I called after him, my voice breaking. But he didn't stop. He walked out the door, leaving the morning sunlight behind him and a silence that screamed louder than any argument ever could. For the first few hours, I was in shock, pacing the kitchen, crying, calling his phone repeatedly. Each ring went unanswered. Each text left unread. I replayed the moment over and over in my mind, imagining alternative words I could have said, a gentler tone, a different choice, anything that could have stopped him from leaving. By evening, reality settled in. The house was empty. The echo of his absence filled every room, every corner. I tried to tell myself he would come back, that this was just a storm, a temporary fracture we could repair. But deep down I knew better. The sentence I had flung carelessly had pierced through years of trust, respect, and love. And some damage, I realized with a sickening clarity, is permanent. Days turned into weeks. Mark didn't return. He didn't answer calls or texts. Mutual friends hinted that he was staying with a colleague, taking time to process, but there was no indication that he intended to come back. Each day without him felt like a punishment, a reminder of my own recklessness. The sentence that had seemed so small, so inconsequential in the moment, now haunted me constantly. I tried to talk to friends, to explain, to rationalize, but the truth was unyielding. One careless sentence had changed everything. The life we had built together, the shared memories, the plans, the quiet routines, was gone, and there was no undoing it. My words had fractured not just a moment, but the very foundation of our relationship. I kept imagining the alternative. What if I had paused? What if I had chosen kindness instead of sarcasm? What if I had recognized the tension in his eyes before speaking? Every what if was a dagger twisting deeper. Weeks later, I heard from a mutual friend that Mark had moved to a new apartment. A fresh start in a city far enough away that he could be free from the echoes of our marriage. The realization hit me like a thunderclap. He had truly walked out forever. And all because of one sentence I hadn't thought through. One moment of thoughtless frustration that carried more weight than I ever imagined. I tried to rebuild, to forgive myself, but the regret was relentless. I replayed the sentence endlessly, the exact tone, the inflection, imagining the look on his face as he processed the words. I could see it now, clear as day. The disbelief, the hurt, the silent decision that this was the end. And the cruelest part? He never yelled, never argued, never gave me a chance to explain. He just walked out. One sentence, one moment, and he had taken everything. My heart, our life, our future, and left me alone with the consequences of my own thoughtlessness. Months later, I still feel the weight of that sentence every day. I pass by our favorite cafe, our favorite park, the places where laughter and love once lived, and I can almost hear him walking away, the echo of the door closing behind him. I've learned, painfully, that words are more powerful than we ever give them credit for. A single sentence, carelessly spoken, can shatter lives. It can end marriages. It can leave regrets that never fade. I can't undo what I said. I can't bring him back. And every time I whisper his name in the quiet of the night, I remember that moment, the sentence, the walk, the finality, and I know, with a certainty that haunts me, that some mistakes cannot be forgiven, and some doors, once closed, remain forever shut.